Hey guys, this is Trenchy back again to bring you another video, and this time, um, we are going to be talking about a movie from 2019. But before I get into this, I want to give a special shout out to my friend Sasha, because he's kind of one of the main reasons I ended up watching this film, and he highly recommended it to me. And I probably would have never really gotten around to seeing this film if it wasn't for him, so I'm going to leave that link below. And that is the Peanut Butter Falcon. Now Sasha sent this to me a while back. And I just never got around to watching it. And he had to delete it. He had to delete the file, and I still hadn't seen it. But I told him he could. I didn't even tell him I hadn't watched it yet till like after, because I didn't want him to have to work around my schedule and shit. And I did end up finding a way to watch the movie, and I watched it, and I fucking loved it, and I wish I would have seen this sooner. So again, thank you, Sasha, for recommending me this, because I fucking love this movie. This movie is brilliant in my eyes. Like, this movie's just a really good, feel-good movie. Like, is it anything too revolutionary? No. Is it anything, like, groundbreaking, life-changing? No. But it's just a really good, down-to-earth, feel-good fucking movie. Like, all the descriptions do say, like, it's like a Mark Twain style adventure. I agree with that. I think of, like, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer. I see that, definitely. Definitely those vibes. Definitely a fantasy kind of fairy tale, like, not fairy tale, but folk story vibe, like fairy tale, folk tale vibe, to it, for sure. Yeah, very much Mud vibes as well. Mud, the Matthew McConaughey movie. I think that might be my favorite Matthew McConaughey movie. Yeah, it's not as sad as Mud. So, Peanut Butter Falcon is about this kid on the spectrum named Zach, who is played by an actor named Zach Gottesson, and the movie was actually made for him, I guess. And Zach Gottesson is actually on the spectrum. The actor is. So this isn't real. It's a performance, but he really is on the spectrum. So he's playing true. He's not, like, I don't think he's the same person in real life. Well, kind of. They kind of say he is, but in the same time, he kills the fucking movie. He fucking kills it, man. He puts his heart and soul into this performance, and it's beautiful. So Zach, he's a kid on the spectrum, young 20-year-old. He's an adult. He's like 20, 21, and he's in a retirement home. He was placed into a retirement home, and which is not a place for people on the spectrum. You don't just throw him in a retirement home. And he's in there with all these old people. And his roommate, Carl, which I love fucking Carl, man. Carl's fucking brilliant. Played by Bruce Stern. Fucking steals every scene he is in, man. I fucking love him. Fucking Carl's the shit, man. Fucking Carl. But yeah, fucking, he's with his roommate, Carl, and Zach's really into wrestling, and his favorite wrestler is the Water Bandit played by Thomas St. George. And he really wants to get out and wrestle, so Bruce Stern helps him escape, Carl helps him escape, and it's up to, keep forgetting her name, but Dakota Johnson's character, I keep forgetting her name, which is weird. I remember everybody else's name, but she's sent to go find him. And while he's on the run, Zach runs into Shia LaBeouf's character, Tyler. Tyler's a guy who's down on his luck. He's dealing with the death of his brother. Doesn't really have any family or friends. Like, the shopkeeper's nice to him, but he might have to fire him because he keeps stealing these certain people's crab nets. One day, Tyler has enough, burns the crab nets, and end up getting chased by these two guys. While Zach has hidden himself on the boat. They kind of collide into each other, you know. Tyler at first wants to leave Zach, but then he realizes, hey, I'm on the run. This guy's on the run. I'm gonna take him with me. And so Tyler promises to take Zach to the Saltwater Bandit, and he plans that to Florida, and they start their journey. And this movie's just a very feel-good movie. Both actors give great performances. Everyone. Dakota Johnson as the social worker, I love her role, man. She's so natural on camera. She's just so very comfortable with what she does, and you know, I really like her character story because she does care for this person. And she wants to do the best for her. She really cares about Zach, and she wants she wants to do the best for him. But at the same time, she kind of coddles him. And her boss is a dick. Like, he wants to keep this under wraps because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He wants to put he wants to put Zach in this like fucking like locked up place for like drug addicts and shit, which is not the place. He wants to like lock them up and shit, which is fucked. And yeah, her boss is a fucking prick, and then you see her kind of grow throughout the story, and it's just an interesting arc, her dealing in between. I want to do what's best for Zach, but I also want Zach to live his best life. And, you know, it's kind of hard. And I do like it when Shia LaBeouf's character challenges her, Tyler. Because when they're on the little raft, they end up building a raft they get from this blind guy, Blind Jasper. And Dakota Johnson's character is forced to go along with them on the journey, and at one point, and Tyler is like, she's like, here, like, have you eaten yet, and stuff like that, and then Shia's like, don't do that, you might not be calling him that word, but don't treat him like he's that. He's more than that, you know. He's like, just because he's on the spectrum doesn't mean to treat him like he's on the spectrum, you know. Treat him with as much respect as you would someone else, you know. And I really like that, and that there's also another great scene with Shia LaBeouf and Zach, Tyler and Zach, and Zach's sitting there and he's like, I want to be a bad guy in wrestling because I'm on the spectrum and my coach used to call me this. And he's like, look, Zach, your coach is a moron. You're not a bad guy because you're on the spectrum because you have Down syndrome. Look, you're never gonna be an athletic swimmer. You're never gonna like do dunks in basketball. But you're a strong person. You can be a wrestler. And he also says, not everybody can be everything. And I really like that. I really like that because it's true. Some of us are just not meant to do certain things. But we all have a purpose. We all have something we can do. And we all were put here to do something. Or at least we should be thinking in the mindset that we're here to do something. And just because, yeah, you might not be athletic, so you might not be good at sports, but look, that doesn't mean you might not be good at writing or painting or singing or just fixing metal, you know, or even just helping people, being a doctor or something. Like, everybody has a talent in one way or another. And don't feel inferior just because you can't do some things that other people can do, because there's always things you can do. And I love that speech, man, because everybody's like, well, you can do something like shoot for the stars and shit, which is good, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but everyone can't do everything. But there is something out there you can do. You know, I really like that moment. I just really like seeing these two's journey, and then when the social worker joined, I really like seeing the three's journey. And there's just some great moments with Shia and Zach, and Shia really kills it. I really love the flashback sequences in the film, because you get flashback sequences with Shia LaBeouf and Tyler, as the Tyler character, and his brother, who was played by John Bernthal, which I thought was cool because they do kind of look alike. So that was actually some really perfect casting. And there are no words at all in the flashbacks. They're just flashes. But you can see, which I do like, because usually in memories, at least the way I have them, I usually only see like flashes of images like they show in the film, and not there is no noise. So I like how they were silent with like some music over it. And you can just see from the emoting from both, you can tell just everything that's going on. And there's a scene where Tyler is feeling sad on the boat with Zach, and he's just remembering his brother, and he's just grieving. And there is no words, but you can just see everything on Shia's face and his body movements, and Zach as well, how everyone is feeling. And it's just brilliant. Shia and Zach Gottesson really bring an emotional core to this movie, and they really rocked the house with that. Those emotional moments fucking hit. I mean, it fucking hits, man. And this is a pretty safe movie. There are some moments of peril, but mostly this is an uplifting movie. But still, Tyler is being chased by these guys. One of them is played by this dude called Yellow Wolf. Fucking Yellow Wolf. It sounds like a Mad Max villain. You have the toe cutter, you have the humongous, and then you have fucking Yellow Wolf. I am your Yellow Wolf. I demand all the gas. But no, I think it's some sort of rapper. Like, I've never heard any of his shit, but you know. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make fun of the guy. It's just a funny name, man. Fucking Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf. But, I gotta do it one more time. That's like a Batman villain. Fucking, you have the Riddler, you have the Joker, you have fucking the Penguin, and then you have Yellow Wolf. Battle to the great and powerful Yellow Wolf. I just can't. But, no, this movie, man, this movie just hits, just a beautiful movie. There is some great cameos from Jake the Snake and fucking Mick Foley, two wrestling legends, and Thomas Hayden Church is dope in the movie as well. But, really, my favorite moments are just them. When it's just Tyler and Zach, and they're training, and they're just talking and bonding, because I really like Tyler's story arc of finding a second chance with this young man. Like, it's kind of like he's been lost his whole life, but here's his second chance, and it's beautiful. I do have a problem with the ending. That's my one kind of nitpick. It's very much a nitpick, because I feel like it doesn't drag the movie down at all. It's just kind of weird. There is a scene toward the end where there's an amazing thing happening. It's like the big happy thing of the moment, big like miracle moment of the movie. You know, that's in slow-mo. Like the big underdog moment, and they got it in slow-mo, and it's so dope, and it's so fucking awesome. But also something really fucked up and dark is happening on the side. And the movie goes from this really fun, heartwarming movie to like this really dark moment. For just a couple minutes. Like, it's just a couple minutes, but it's really dark. And then it just goes back to this kind of uplifting, happy ending again. I'm like, why did you do the dark thing? Why? What? It just didn't feel like, it just felt out of nowhere and random, and they like glossed over it so quick. Now, I do realize that it might have been a callback to something earlier in the movie, because there is a scene during the dark moments where it's like, oh, okay, he said this earlier, and now he's doing it now, but still, they glossed over it so quick that it didn't really, it was a gut punch, it hurt, but I don't think, like, it didn't really leave the impact it should have. I felt like they should have stretched it out a little bit longer, kind of so it would have that impact. Because I kind of feel like it was just kind of useless. Like, I get it, that storyline needed to be finished, but still, it's like, it's just kind of random, you know. Because the whole movie, yeah, there's a couple dark moments, but the whole movie is pretty uplifting. It's like, it's a pure feel-good movie. You feel good while watching this movie. This movie made me happier. Like, it, my fucking, I felt warm watching this movie. I know that might feel weird, but I felt warm watching this movie, warm and fuzzy and shit, you know? It, this movie really, really had me. And then they do that, but at the same time, I kind of brush it off. It's just a little moment. The rest of the movie's fucking great. I don't really have any cons about it, you know, besides that, like, it's a good-ass movie. Also, two things I left out from earlier. The villains in this movie are very interesting. Yes, they're very intimidating. But, well, I shouldn't call them villains. The antagonists are very interesting because they have a good reason for why they're doing what they're doing. It doesn't excuse their behavior because they're going extreme, but this guy was stealing their equipment, their livelihood, and burned their livelihood. Like, he burned equipment, which they lived off that shit. They were fishermen, and he burned their crab cages. Like, and there was a whole lot of them in that pile. Like, that's a lot of equipment. Because he was mad because they confronted him about stealing the shit. So, of course, we don't know what happened before this prior. We don't know if they were assholes and shit and they deserved it. And they do look like assholes and they do bad things in the movie. But then again, like, they do have at least a reason. So, I'm gonna give this movie a fucking 10 men for my ranking of it. I love this fucking movie. This movie is the shit, and I highly recommend it, man. It's just a good ride, and, is that all the actors are great? You got Wayne DeHart in there? I forgot, the guy from RoboCop 2. He's in there, he plays the blind guy, which, at first I thought was a little weird, but I'm like, yeah, that's like the fantasy kind of fairy tale kind of Tom Sawyer moment. Like, that was straight out of that little portion with Wayne DeHart. And yeah, this movie's just dope, man. This movie's just fucking dope. I just love this fucking movie, man. It's just, it hits right where it needs to hit, and it's just like, fucking, feel the emotion, and it's like, I do, I feel it, like, it's fucking dope, man. I see the only thing people might say against this movie is they might call it too sappy, but I don't feel that at all. I feel it's more heartwarming than sappy. Like, I feel it's a very powerful film that shows no matter who you are, you should be treated with respect, and if you work hard, and if there are people in your corner that believe in you, you can do it. And yeah, and it's also a redemption story with Tyler finding his redemption and finding a new family, this lost soul finding a new family. So it's really just a two for one deal there. You know, you got two great stories going on. Although I do hope that they got to get Carl out of the retirement home so he could go to Florida, so he can go to Zach's birthday party. That needed to fucking happen. Make it happen, movie. Even if it's just a short. I want a short to show that Carl got to go to Zach's birthday party. Because that's very important. It's very important. And Samson, you weren't invited to his birthday party, so you don't get to go. Love that fucking line, by the way. You're not invited to my birthday party. That's how I'm gonna insult people from now on. Like, if I have to insult someone, I'm just gonna be like, you're not invited to my birthday party. You're not invited. Because that's a dope ass, I can't lie, that's a dope ass insult. I love that shit. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my review, man. Again, I'm gonna leave Slash's link below. Thank you, man, for recommending this. I really had a fun time with this movie. And yeah, you guys stay frosty. This is Trenchy signing off. Beep bop boop. You're not invited to my birthday party!